We all know women can be stubborn, rigid, and set in their ways. But 100 years ago, no one would have imagined that women would eventually fall for the biggest drama in the world. A drama that's so powerful that generations and generations of women have fallen for it and are continuing to support it, promote it, and believe in it. And even more surprising is how after believing in it for decades, they are all realizing that they should have never been a part of it. That drama is feminism, and women are its victims. What is feminism, and where did it come from? In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a climate of urban industrialism and liberal, socialist politics gave rise to the first wave of feminism. With a focus on democracy, this wave sought to increase possibilities for women. 300 men and women came together to support the cause of women's equality at the Seneca Falls Convention in 1848, which marked the official start of the wave. The Seneca Falls Declaration, detailing the new movement's philosophy and political tactics, was written by Elizabeth Cady Stanton. The 1960s saw the start of the second wave, which lasted into the 1990s. This wave developed alongside the anti-war and civil rights movements, as well as the rising self-awareness of several minority groups all over the world. The new left was growing, and the second wave's voice was turning more extreme. Beginning in the middle of the 1990s, the third wave of feminism was influenced by post-colonial and postmodern thought. Many constructions, such as the ideas of universal femininity, body, gender, sensuality, and heteronormativity, were destabilized during this phase. Some people who want to be part of this new fourth wave struggle with the term feminism, not just because of its historical associations with radicalism, but also because it conjures up images of a gender binary and an exclusionary undercurrent, such as for women only. Many fourth wavers who firmly believe in the principles of the movement find the name feminism to be offensive and worry that it will be difficult to spread their message to a wider audience. Still, word of mouth is taking the day. Feminism as a group, as a movement, and as a women's rights ideology is socially supported, celebrated, and encouraged in all platforms of media and academics. There are courses in college that you can take for feminism theory and rights. There are degree programs offered by some of the best universities in the world where they teach you everything there is to know about feminism, its history, development, major events that shaped it, and how people, groups, and countries are better off with feminism as a major consideration for their plans and policies. In the media, there's always talk about feminism. There are shows dedicated to feminism and the rights of women. Popular TV show hosts always invite prominent feminists on their shows to talk about feminism in detail, where they come over and tell everyone how societies can benefit from feminism and advocate for equal pay across the spectrum of occupations, but only want that for white-collar jobs such as C-suite executives, and not blue-collar jobs such as miners. Funny, isn't it? All across social media, feminism is common in conversations when it comes to men and women, relationships, careers, rights, and pretty much everything else. There's no social media platform where you won't see accepted and celebrated social media groups talking about feminism, and in some cases, how females need to dominate males in order to succeed. And by dominate, they mean using men for their resources, using the justice system against men by the process of divorce, and making sure all corporations now hire female CEOs, which by the way is already happening. So, feminism really is all around us, and we are supposed to be totally with it, because we'll be damned if we say anything against it, right? Since feminism is institutionalized, socially and politically accepted, it has grounds and leverage to use its position to shape and change the game for women at the policy level. Feminists who are in positions of power are also in a position to use that power to shape policies that support, help, and encourage women in every field, making it easier for them to earn as much and have the same or more decision-making authority as men. Now, I'm not saying that women shouldn't have decision-making authority or be making as much as men. I think it would make me very happy if women made even more than men or had more decision-making authority. My issue is that blanket policies such as these discredit merit. And I'll give you an example. Consider a large organization where there's a requirement for a female CEO to replace a male CEO after every 4 years. So when the time comes for the male CEO to step down and for a female CEO to take his place, what do you think will happen if there aren't any women capable of being CEOs at this point in time? The company will still have to appoint a CEO, whether the company has one capable and senior enough or not. So, let's see how women's lives have been impacted by feminism. Feminism has ensured that women believe in going against their own nature and the very idea of feminism that makes them women. It has promoted the idea of women taking on men's traditional roles in society as the providers and protectors, and that somehow taking on those roles makes women truly independent. It has encouraged women to ignore their most fertile years for what they really are, and instead use all their time and energy in those years to instead chase their corporate careers and climb the corporate ladder. One thing that feminism truly ignores is the biological clock. The most extreme forms of feminism claim that as women rise to the positions of CEO and important decision makers in large corporations and governments, they can live fully and freely. This claim essentially ignores the fact that the woman will eventually begin to feel as though she is rapidly approaching the age at which she will no longer be able to bear children, and that feeling will gradually affect her. She will also find it incredibly hard to find a partner as she ages because men prefer younger and more feminine women. Social conditioning is incredibly harmful and potent. Modern women who fall for it will go to any lengths to protect the beliefs they hold dear. In actuality, they simply combine it with the information they've received from institutions, important figures, and multinational corporations with little regard for the pleasure of women. In a recent piece, it was predicted that by 2030, 45% of American women would be unmarried. It will definitely happen, gentlemen. There will be many ladies in the future who will be alone. It may not be 45 anymore. Now, that doesn't necessarily imply that they won't be piped the hell down. No, they will be engaging in polyculture to a large extent in addition to accomplishing that. That is definitely present already, so as time goes on, I anticipate it becoming more common. However, that is gradually disintegrating and disappearing in terms of women getting married and monogamous relationships. As a result, expect to see more older women who are single living alone and with pets in the future than ever before. Modern women who chose a profession in school over getting married are obnoxious, intolerable, and poor dating candidates since they are so predictable with their phrases. They've been given the myth that they can climb the corporate ladders in their 20s, have a successful profession, have several guys hit on them, and finally settle down in their mid-30s despite the fact that they believe that this helps them have respectable savings and know themselves better. The unadulterated truth is very different. Leftover women live financially irresponsible lives for the most part. Women overspend, live paycheck to paycheck, and have so much emotional baggage that their ability to attach as a couple is permanently lost. They turn to antidepressants and other legal drugs like alcohol and cigarettes when they are in their mid-30s and early 40s and have trouble finding a man who truly wants them as a mate. However, this does not imply that men pay them no attention. Some males will thirst for any woman out there, no matter what sort they are. The reality is that women are now genuinely realizing how they've wasted away their prime and fertile years chasing corporate dreams of being independent women who never needed any men. They're realizing how this thinking made them stay away from committed relationships and find a decent male to raise a family with. They're realizing they're past their biological clocks and have hit the wall. They've realized they blindly followed an ideology that only promoted hate against men, effectively making them old and bitter and without any partners or children to live for. They've realized they don't even have a purpose apart from getting promoted at their workplaces. More and more women continue to believe in this ideology, and more of them will eventually realize how they were being misled and led away from their feminine nature. That is unless they themselves educate younger women on the dangers of living their lives with such thinking. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.